There's a secret that most gardeners never discover. While everyone else is taking their garden boots off for the season, the smartest growers are already preparing for spring success. And here's the crazy part. This technique works even better in the coldest climates. If you've been struggling to get your vegetables established early in the season, what you're about to learn will completely change your growing game. If you love gardening tips and want to master these techniques, please hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Drop a like while you're at it because your support keeps backyard crops going strong. Why this works. Understanding seed dormancy. Let me take you back to basics for just a moment. In nature, seeds don't simply wake up and grow whenever they feel like it. There's a specific set of conditions that must be met. Temperature plays one of the most critical roles in this process. Think about the science behind this for a second. Take lettuce, for example. This crop refuses to germinate when temperatures climb above 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, in that kind of heat, it doesn't just fail to grow, it rots. But here's the flip side. Drop the temperature below 35 degrees and lettuce won't sprout either. But that's not because it can't, it's because the seed enters a dormant state. The plant is essentially pausing, waiting for better conditions. That dormancy period, that's exactly what we're going to use to our advantage. We want these seeds to remain asleep through the winter months. They'll stay patient and protected until spring arrives. And when they finally do emerge, they're going to sprout earlier than any seeds you start indoors yourself. Yes, it might feel strange watching them come up so early, but once you see how strong and robust these plants become, how much hardier they are compared to traditional starts, you'll become a devoted fan of this method. Before you scroll away, share this video with someone in your gardening group. These techniques work for everyone, and your friends deserve to know about them. Timing is everything. Know your growing zone. Here's where precision matters. The temperature range you have in your area determines exactly when you can start this technique. You need consistently below 35 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 1 full week straight. This is crucial. If you live in the colder northern regions, in zones 3, 4, or 5, you have quite a window. You can begin this process anywhere between November and as late as February. You've got flexibility and time on your side. Living in the middle zones, areas classified as 6, 7, or 8, right now in December is really your ideal window. The timing aligns perfectly with natural temperature patterns. Those of you in warmer climates might need to rethink this approach. Consistent freezing temperatures are what make this method shine. Without that sustained cold, your results won't be nearly as impressive. The warning I want to emphasize is this. If temperatures warm up unexpectedly after you've planted your seeds, they'll germinate prematurely. That's the opposite of what you want. Your goal is dormancy, not early sprouting. The seeds must wait patiently underground until spring naturally arrives. Method 1. The container system for cool weather crops. For roughly half of the spring vegetables that excel with this technique, you'll need very minimal supplies. This is what makes it so accessible. Gather the following: a plastic milk jug or similar container, masking tape, and potting soil. If you have a 6-cell seed starting tray available, that's a fantastic bonus, but it's not required to succeed. The crops that thrive with winter sowing. Crop 1. Kale. Varieties like Dazzling Blue are absolute stars for this method. This leafy green produces generously and handles the process beautifully. Crop 2. Lettuce. Marvel of 4 seasons is perfectly named because it truly does perform year-round when using these techniques. Lettuce adapts wonderfully to dormant sowing. Crop 3. Spinach. Many gardeners believe you can't transplant spinach. That's simply not true. This method works excellently with spinach, and you'll be amazed at your results. Crop 4. Arugula. A classic that deserves a spot in every garden. Arugula responds beautifully to dormant starting. Crop 5. Cabbage, red acre variety. I'm particularly enthusiastic about cabbage because it takes longer than leafy greens to reach maturity. Getting a head start means enjoying actual cabbage heads weeks earlier than normal. Crops that don't belong in this system. There's one important distinction. Your tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants shouldn't go into this setup. These plants genuinely prefer being nurtured indoors in a controlled seed starting system. Start them inside where you can provide consistent warmth and care. Then, transplant them outside once you're absolutely certain spring has arrived and frost danger is completely gone. Step by step, building your winter sowing containers. Let me walk you through the actual process. First, take your plastic jug and make a horizontal cut about 1/3 of the way up the jug. Cut almost all the way around, but leave one section intact to serve as a hinge. This creates a lid you can easily flip open and close. Next, add your growing medium. Pour in your potting soil or potting mix. Don't stress about finding the fanciest seed starting formula. Regular potting soil works perfectly fine. This is where many beginners overthink things. Keep it simple. Here's a critical step many people mess up. Don't water the soil at this point. This might feel counterintuitive, but wet soil will trigger germination. You're trying to keep seeds dormant, not activated. Keep that soil at a pleasant, dry to slightly damp consistency. Now, place your seeds into the soil. For example, if you're planting cabbage and you've set up one jug, place 3 or 4 seeds in the middle. Press them down gently and lightly cover them with soil. That's genuinely all you need to do. Don't water, don't add fertilizer, don't activate anything. Just let them rest. Close that hinged lid back down. Now comes the tape. Seal that jug shut with masking tape. Remove the actual lid from the jug so water can eventually enter naturally. Add a label to your tape noting the variety and the date you planted. Maximizing your results. Here's where strategy comes in. Many successful gardeners create multiple jugs. Some people set up 10, 20, or even 30 containers at once. That might sound excessive, but there's genuine logic behind it. Some growers take a different approach. Rather than planting individual seeds spaced out, they scatter seeds across the bottom of the jug, multiple seeds in the same container. When spring arrives and they open everything up, they see abundant sprouting. Then they perform what's called pricking out, using tweezers or careful hands to gently separate individual seedlings and transplant them to their permanent positions. It requires more attention but generates plenty of plants. Another excellent method is using those 6-cell trays I mentioned. Fill each cell with soil, scatter seeds into each cell, tape it shut. This reduces the amount of pricking out work required while still giving you organized, countable seedlings.
Method 2. Direct sowing in garden beds. Not everything benefits from container starting. Some crops genuinely prefer to stay in their final location from the start. These plants don't like root disturbance, or they simply grow stronger when directly seeded where you want them. Crops that prefer direct winter sowing. Crop 6. Beets. While technically transplantable, beets genuinely prefer direct sowing. They thrive when seeded directly into ground where they'll mature. Crop 7. Parsnips. These are fantastic candidates because they have an infamously long germination period. Sometimes waiting 3 weeks for parsnip seeds to sprout can drive gardeners crazy. Winter sowing accelerates this dramatically. Crop 8. Carrots. Direct seeding produces the strongest, straightest carrots. The root system develops perfectly when undisturbed from seed. Crop 9. Echinacea, or coneflower. This flower requires cold stratification. It needs extended cold exposure to germinate properly. Direct winter sowing provides exactly what this plant demands. Crop 10. Delphiniums. Another cold-requiring flower that essentially refuses to germinate without cold treatment. Direct winter sowing solves this completely. Crop 11. Parsley. A classic herb that handles cold perfectly and establishes stronger from direct seeding. Crop 12. Dill. Similar to parsley, dill seeds handle dormancy beautifully and create sturdier plants when directly seeded. The direct sowing process. The philosophy remains the same. You want ground that's cold but workable, not frozen solid but definitely chilled. You should be able to grab the soil and move it around without it being rock hard. Starting with parsnips as an example, clear a small section of ground. Take your parsnip seeds, and remember, these have that notorious long germination period, and place them in the soil at the proper depth, just as you would during normal planting season. Now, here's the key difference. Once buried, completely cover the area with mulch. This is important. Using quality organic straw or mulch creates a protective buffer. Even if a warm spell occurs in late winter or early spring, causing seeds to sprout early, that mulch protects delicate seedlings from frost, wind, and harsh conditions. It essentially buys your young plants extra weeks of protection.
Placement and care throughout winter. For container systems, don't position your jugs out in the middle of your yard where they'll get pummeled by sleet and wind. That abuse can damage them. Simultaneously, don't place them in a heated greenhouse. That warmth will accidentally trigger germination. Find a middle ground, a location that's somewhat protected but still exposed to natural winter temperatures. Many gardeners group their multiple containers together. This clustering actually buffers temperature fluctuations. The containers insulate each other, maintaining more stable conditions. Position them where they'll receive some rain or dew naturally. Remove that plastic lid completely so water can enter. As late winter transitions into early spring, you can carefully peel back the masking tape to peek inside. Check if moisture seems appropriate. If things look too dry, add a light sprinkling of water. This can kickstart germination as temperatures rise. For direct seeded areas, keep those mulched areas undisturbed. The protection is doing its job. As spring arrives and temperatures stabilize, you'll see shoots emerging through the mulch. The real magic, built-in hardening off. Here's something absolutely brilliant about this entire method. You're essentially providing automatic hardening off. Your seedlings emerge and adjust to outdoor conditions gradually, naturally. They toughen up as temperatures slowly warm. By the time they're truly established, they're already acclimated to whatever weather patterns your region experiences. Compare this to traditional indoor starting. You nurture seedlings indoors in warmth and humidity, then you have to harden them off, gradually exposing them to wind and sun and outdoor conditions. That transition period can be stressful for plants. Winter-sown seedlings skip that shock entirely. They're born tough. Why this method transforms your garden game? Think about what this accomplishes practically. During winter, gardening feels dormant. There's genuinely not much to do. Your garden is sleeping. But this method means you're productive during those slow months. You set everything up in December, January, or February when you're less busy. Come spring, you've already done substantial work. Your seedlings are germinating exactly when nature wants them to. No wondering whether your indoor seedlings are getting enough light, no managing humidity trays, no bottom heat systems, no sophisticated equipment required. Just containers, soil, seeds, and patience. Your transplants will arrive in spring already adapted to outdoor conditions. They'll take off growing immediately upon transplanting, rather than wilting from transplant shock. You'll have vegetables producing weeks earlier than people using conventional methods. Expansion and variation. Start small if you're new to this. Set up 5 or 10 containers. Learn the method. Observe what happens throughout winter and spring. Then next year, scale up. Some experienced gardeners eventually set up 20, 30, or even 50 containers. Different gardeners develop preferences. Some love the organized 6-cell tray method. Others prefer the single jug approach because it's less complicated. Experiment and find what matches your style. You can combine both methods in the same season. Use containers for your leafy greens, direct sow your root crops and flowers. This gives you maximum advantage across a broad range of spring crops. The payoff and the promise. By March or April, depending on your zone, you'll open those containers and find thriving seedlings ready for transplanting. Your direct seeded areas will be sprouting up. While other gardeners are just thinking about their gardens, you're already ahead, way ahead. This isn't just about timing. It's about developing hardier, stronger plants. It's about working with nature's patterns rather than fighting them.
It's about making your gardening life genuinely easier by doing work during slow months. So here's my challenge to you. Try this method this year. Start with just a few containers or one direct-seeded bed. Document what happens. See the results for yourself. I genuinely believe you'll become a devoted practitioner of this technique. The payoff and the promise. By March or April, depending on your zone, you'll open those containers and find thriving seedlings ready for transplanting. Your direct-seeded areas will be sprouting up. While other gardeners are just thinking about their gardens, you're already ahead, way ahead. This isn't just about timing. It's about developing hardier, stronger plants. It's about working with nature's patterns rather than fighting them. It's about making your gardening life genuinely easier by doing work during slow months. So here's my challenge to you. Try this method this year. Start with just a few containers or one direct seed of bed. Document what happens. See the results for yourself. I genuinely believe you'll become a devoted practitioner of this technique. Final thoughts. Winter sowing and direct winter seeding represent some of the most effective yet underutilized techniques in home gardening. The science is straightforward, the execution is simple, the results are genuinely impressive. Your plants will thank you, your future self will thank you, and next spring, when everyone's asking how you got such strong, vigorous seedlings so early, you'll know exactly why. If this content proved helpful, please comment below and let me know which crops you're most excited about trying. Share this video with other gardeners who could benefit from these techniques. Subscribe to Backyard Crops for more practical growing wisdom delivered regularly. Together, we're building a community of gardeners who work smarter, not harder, and who understand that sometimes the best gardening happens when everything looks dormant. Thanks for spending time with me today, and keep growing.